Hey guys, welcome back. This is Chris Bliss. I'm going to start a new series where I just review games that I don't really want to play on my Let's Play channel for a variety of reasons. But I wanted to review Pokemon Go for my first review. It's one of the most popular games out there right now, and I just wanted to share my opinions of it. So I'm going to break it down in between the pros and the cons and just give my overall kind of grade at the end. I use a grading system because I used to be a teacher, and yeah, I think just a basic A through F grading system would be cool. So the pros that I like about this game is that it's one of the best social games out there, especially when the game first released. It's been about, I think, a month since it first released, and it's one of the best social games out there because when I went downtown in my city, I saw people playing Pokemon Go everywhere. There were Pokestops everywhere, there were Pokemon everywhere, there were gyms. Everyone was looking down at their phone trying to catch Pokemon, and it was actually really cool because it kind of brought people together. You know, I was talking to other people, you know, asking them where different Pokestops were, asking them where certain Pokemon they found were, and you know, everyone would be rushing over to go find a Pokemon and trying to capture it. So it's a really cool social kind of a social experiment, social game, and I think that's really cool. I think that, you know, especially nowadays where you turn on like CNN or you turn on the news, you know, you hear everything about Trump and you hear all the politics, and you see, you know, police officers shooting people and people shooting police officers. It's a very good distraction from just the regular stuff that you see on TV. You know, it's a simple game. All you have to do is catch Pokemon and level them up and try to beat gyms and try to catch them all. So I also think that it's good for people like me who have depression and who don't like going outside and, you know, doing things, because it forces you to go outside. It's a game where you have to go walk around, where you have to go walk to the Pokestops, you have to go walk and hunt down different Pokemon, walk to go to a gym. So it's very good for those of you who are kind of isolated and maybe don't want to go outside and do all those things. It really has to put you, in order to succeed in the game, you have to go out and push yourself to do these things. It's also a good game because you get some exercise in it. And, you know, instead of just sitting down and playing Xbox or PlayStation or, you know, PC games for hours on end, you actually have to go up, walk around, you know, you get a good little exercise, some cardiovascular exercise benefits. So, yeah, I really like that too. It kind of pushes you out there and you get some exercise, even though it's just simple walking. Any type of walking is obviously beneficial to your heart health and your overall cardiovascular system. And I wasn't embarrassed to play the game. You know, sometimes maybe it's just me, but sometimes I feel kind of embarrassed when I play games and I upload them onto my YouTube channel. But, you know, I wasn't embarrassed to play this game at all because everyone else was doing it. Everyone else was trying to catch Pokemon, was trying to level them up, trying to battle gyms and take them over. So no embarrassment at all for me, and I don't think you shouldn't be embarrassed to play this game at all too, because it's such a popular game. It's a cultural phenomenon. I mean, you can turn on the news and you can see people, all sorts of races, religions, genders, sexualities are playing the game, and it's just bringing people together. So that's one of the huge positives about this game. It's almost the ultimate social game that you could play right now. And there's my cat. He just got done eating, so he's gonna take a nap. Now, it's a great social game. However, it does have some significant problems which kind of prohibit the game from really reaching that level where it is above other social games and other games that you may play. So when the game first launched, there was a ton of bugs and almost unplayable in certain circumstances. I would find myself going to a Pokestop only to find that the GPS system would crash and the game would just freeze and crash. Now, those issues seem to have been resolved, which is very good, because it was very frustrating to go walk all the way over to a Pokestop and then have the game crash. So that's obviously pretty annoying, but it seems to me now that the game doesn't really have those bugs, so that's a big up, and I'm glad that they fixed that. Now, there's also the issue of actually finding specific Pokemon. Since I live in the suburbs, I usually only find Pidgeys, Caterpies, Weedles, Vetonats, what else? That's basically it. Maybe a Pidgeotto here and there, Rattatats, but I feel like in the suburban areas, there's only specific Pokemon. Rarely you can find, I think I found Nidoran, male and female, a Rhyhorn, so a little more rare Pokemon, but basically the same Pokemon over and over again in suburban areas. Now, when I did go downtown to look for other Pokemon, I did find some more rare Pokemon, but the problem is that I don't want to have to go downtown, drive, waste gas, and then pay money for a parking garage just to find Pokemon. So I'm wasting my own money just to find Pokemon in order to level my Pokemon up, catch new Pokemon, and battle gyms. So for me, that's kind of a con, because I don't want to have to go out of my way all the way downtown to find Pokemon and pay money in order to do it. So the people who live in the suburbs and the rural areas are kind of getting a little bit of the shaft, because there's not a lot of Pokestops, there's not a lot of gyms, and the Pokemon seem to be all exactly the same. Now, when the game released, there was a system where you could track down Pokemon based on steps. Now, I think for me this was bugged, or it could have been because I lived in the suburbs, because all my Pokemon had the 3 steps. I never found Pokemon that had 2 steps or 1 step. Even when I went downtown, all the Pokemon were 3 steps, which was kind of weird, because I would be walking around and then random Pokemon would be popping up. So you would think that the steps would be 1 or 2 because they were so close. But I think my steps were completely broken, and I've been doing some research online, and it seems that they fixed this sort of stepping system. It's completely gone, and they introduced a sighting system where Pokemon would show up based on a sighting, and then you have to go and try to find them, and then they would flee after a certain amount of time. So it's, it's okay. I think part of the game that makes it so fun, or what makes the game so fun, is that you see Arcanine or a Lapras or a Charizard or whatever, and you go and hunt it down in order to capture it. That is pretty cool. But now it doesn't really seem like that's the case. It's more of like a sighting thing, and you have to go out and it's kind of randomized, just based on my experience. But I do like the fact that I could be walking down the street, walking to a park, and then just random Pokemon pop up. It kind of reminds me of playing Pokemon Red and all the other different Pokemon games, walking in the grass and then having a random Pokemon pop up. So I kind of like that, because it reminds me of the games. It gives you the thrill of hunting down the Pokemon and actually capturing them. Let's see, another issue that I have with the game is the battle system. It's very, I would say it's mediocre at best. When you're doing the battle system, you're just smashing the buttons and or the enemy Pokemon, and then sometimes you get your special attack and you hold it. So as someone who played almost all of the Pokemon games on 3DS, it's definitely a certain step backwards from the battle system that I'm used to. But I kind of understand why they had to do it, because they wanted to separate it from the RPG series. So the battle system is what it is. It's pretty simple. As long as you have a Pokemon that has a type advantage, most of the time you'll end up winning. But as long as their CP is high enough. I already mentioned the suburban areas, suburban and rural people. kind of gets screwed over a little bit because you know, the Pokestops aren't as common, the gyms aren't as common, Pokemon seem to be the same. And yeah, but the problem is, and I'm looking at my notes real quick, I think one of the biggest problems about this game is that it is a complete grind fest. Now, I understand that this, I don't really know how you would categorize this game. RPG, it's not really a strategy game, but it is a massive grind fest. Now, so for some people that's completely fine. They like leveling up, they like that grind, it gives them a sense of satisfaction. However, for me, you know, like I said, I don't want to go downtown and pay money just to catch Pokemon and level up. You know, I want to be able to just go on a walk, catch some Pokemon, get my Pokeballs refilled, and level up that way. This game definitely benefits those who live in urban areas, who live in the city, and kind of the people who live in the rural areas and suburban areas kind of get the short stick. So, you know, if I lived in the city, then my grade would totally be different, because I'd be going outside and Pokestops would be everywhere, Pokemon would be everywhere, lures would be everywhere. So yeah, but it did require me to go and look for different areas in my surrounding area, and I did find a nice little park where it has, I think, 5 or 6 Pokestops and a couple of gyms. So I just have to go drive down the street and go to the park and kind of just sit around and set up my lures and stuff, which is okay. You know, I get some time outside and I go for a little walk and everything, but and I don't have to pay for parking, so that is great. So I think I'm going to keep on going to that spot in order to get my Pokemon up. So yeah, overall I think that this game is decent. It is a decent average game. The social aspects of this game are completely amazing. I think they could do a lot more with, you know, maybe when you're looking at your screen and you could see other Pokemon trainers around you, you could go up to them and trade Pokemon or battle them instead of battling the gyms, earn some XP that way. That would be a really cool addition to this game, I think. Unfortunately, the game has been riddled with some bugs at launch, but it seems like they have fixed most of them. I don't really get a lot of connection errors as much as I did when the game launched. But for me, I don't want to go downtown and waste parking money just to catch Pokemon. And some of you may be able to do that, but for me, I just don't want to waste the money to play a free-to-play game. And some may argue that this is a pay-to-win game because you can spend real dollars to get more Pokeballs or get more lucky eggs, which level up your double XP, or get more lures or get more incubators so you can hatch a bunch of eggs. So I kind of understand that it may be a pay-to-win game, but Niantic does have to implement something in order for them to make money. So it's kind of a toss-up. I don't really like pay-to-win games, but I do understand that they have to monetize the game somehow. And I'm sure some of you have already purchased Pokeballs, lures, and stuff like that. I'm not really the type of person who does that. I like to save my money and play the game for what it is. So maybe, you know, I'm a little bit biased there. But overall, I'm a little concerned that the game may not have the longest shelf life, only because what do you do when you reach level 20? I think I'm level like 11 or 12 right now, so I still got a ways to go. I don't know if they'll add more Pokemon from the, what is it called, the Johto region, or different regions of the game, or what, but I think for now the game is doing good, but I'm a little concerned about what they're going to do in the future. So yeah, overall I would give this game a C-. It is slightly below average right now. It definitely has the potential to be above average, but with some of the things that I mentioned about rural and suburban players, it's hard for me to give this game a solid grade just because of that. Now, if I lived in the city, I'd probably give it at least a B, because I'd be going out walking around and catching all these Pokemon. But as a suburban and rural player, it's below average for me, because I actually have to go out of my way and drive to these different places rather than just getting out of my apartment and walking around the block and hitting a couple Pokestops. So keep that in mind during this review. For suburban and rural players, it could probably improve a little bit, but for those of you who live in the city or downtown or in an urban area, highly populated urban area, the game, I'm sure for you guys, is a ton of fun, catching all kinds of brand new Pokemon and stuff like that. So leave your comments down below what you think about my review, if you disagreed, if you agreed, if there's anything that I missed or anything else you want me to talk about. I know that I'm going to still play Pokemon Go for the foreseeable future, just because I like catching Pokemon, and I want to eventually capture a gym. I haven't been able to do that yet since my Pokemon are so low. My CPs aren't very good. So hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll be doing some more reviews. If you guys like this, leave a comment below if you want to see more reviews. They'll just be short, maybe 10 to 20-minute reviews, just based on my opinion about certain games that I may not normally play on my channel, maybe because they're too old, or people just really aren't searching them anymore. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, or you share it with your friends. I do have an article on my blog that kind of gets into more detail about what I didn't like, what I did like, and what I didn't like, so I'll leave that in the description if you want to check it out. Hit me up on social media. I have all my links down below, and I do have my blog link. I do have my Patreon page if you want to support me, and so I can purchase some more games and stuff like that. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in either my next Let's Play video or in my next review. Thanks, guys.